They say betrayal sounds like a slammed door or a shouted curse. That's not true. It's quiet. It's the sound of glass breaking in another room. Soft, sharp, final. You don't even rush to see it. You just stand still, listening, knowing something precious will never be whole again. My name is Elias Vaughn, and this is the story of how silence became my sharpest weapon. The night began with laughter. It always did. Amara's laughter filled the dining room like perfume, intoxicating, rehearsed, designed for others. Her father leaned back in his chair, the patriarch of performance, while her brother Mason poured wine as though the bottle belonged to him. "Still teaching?" he asked, his tone balanced between curiosity and contempt. "Still pretending to care?" I replied softly. He chuckled, missing the blade beneath the silk. Amara smiled, that perfect, polished expression she wore when she wanted to appear gentle while drawing blood. The waiter approached. "Sir, the owner would like to see you." Amara laughed lightly. "You know the owner, Elias?" I met the waiter's eyes. "Tell him I'll be there in 10 minutes. When I returned, the table was quieter. I didn't tell them the owner's name, because it was mine. We met at an art exhibition, back when colors meant emotions and silence meant peace. Amara was luminous, not beautiful in the way of magazines, but magnetic. The kind of person whose attention made you feel seen and dissected at once. She loved my steadiness, she said, my calm, my precision. Over time, those same qualities became her reasons to sneer. "You don't feel anything," she'd whisper after an argument. "You just think." She didn't understand that some people bleed inwardly. It happened on a Tuesday, ordinary enough to disguise catastrophe. Her phone buzzed while she showered. I didn't mean to look, but curiosity isn't always sin. Sometimes it's survival. The message was from him, her brother, Mason. "He still thinks you're at the hospital?" "Yes," she replied. "He's too busy pretending to be noble." Pretending. That word didn't stab. It eroded. It hollowed me in slow, deliberate waves. I didn't confront her. Instead, I learned her language. Deceit wrapped in charm. While she slept, I mirrored her phone to mine. Every word she sent, every lie she typed, became an entry in what I began to call the archive. It wasn't an affair. Not yet. It was worse. A conspiracy of cruelty. Two people building intimacy on my supposed inadequacy. And so, I built my own intimacy. With truth. One document, one signature, one quiet move at a time. The restaurant she loved, the one where she bragged about being the owner's favorite guest, had gone on sale. I bought it under an anonymous holding company. Poetic symmetry, I thought. The night she invited her family for dinner, she thought she was hosting a celebration. New investors, new opportunities, her chance to shine. She wore white, the color of victory, not realizing it often precedes surrender. When I said, "I am the owner," the silence was surgical. Her father's fork froze mid-air. Mason blinked like a man waking from a dream. Amara's smile faltered. "You're lying." "Would you like to see the deed?" I asked gently. Her laughter cracked, brittle, nervous. The waiter refilled my glass without being asked. Even he understood the shift in power. We drove home in silence. She didn't speak until the garage door closed. "You embarrassed me," she hissed. "No," I said. "I revealed you." She wanted a fight, but I learned anger is an unworthy language. "I read the messages," I said simply. Her face changed. Fear isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just stillness. I didn't mean, "Yes, you did." The truth hung between us, heavy and merciless. "Why didn't you say something?" she whispered. "Because I wanted you to see yourself the way I did." The next morning, I met my lawyer. We'd been preparing for weeks. The prenup Amara had insisted on to protect her family assets. I'd never contested it. I just rewrote mine quietly, protecting everything she'd assumed was hers. She'd used my trust as a weapon. I used her arrogance as my shield. By noon, her accounts were frozen. The restaurant, her favorite escape, no longer recognized her authority. Mason tried to call. I blocked him. Some relationships don't deserve closure, only silence. 2 weeks later, the story broke. A leaked audit exposed Mason's misuse of family funds. The same company he'd mocked me for not joining was under investigation. Amara called me at 2 a.m. "They're coming for everything," she sobbed. "Then maybe you'll finally understand what it's like to lose something invisible first." I hung up. The call felt like an ending and an echo. Months later, I opened my gallery, Glass House. Each installation represented something fragile that had survived the fracture. The final piece was hers. A dining table set for 4. Wine stains frozen in resin, silverware reflecting distorted faces. Title, Pretending. Critics called it haunting. She called it cruel when she came to see it. I just smiled. "Art imitates truth," I said, "and truth, unlike people, doesn't lie." I don't hate her. That would imply I still care. What I feel is quieter, something between peace and mourning. Sometimes I see her across the street, holding a new man's arm. She still laughs the same way. Maybe he'll believe it longer than I did. The restaurant thrives under my ownership now. The staff knows the story but never speaks of it. We just serve the wine, polish the glasses, and let silence do the rest. I've learned that vengeance isn't the opposite of love. It's the shadow it leaves behind. Some betrayals deserve fire. Others deserve reflection, the kind found in glass, sharp enough to see the truth, soft enough not to bleed. People ask me if I regret not confronting her sooner. No, because she taught me something invaluable. When people mistake your silence for weakness, let them. Then let the truth speak louder than revenge ever could.